National Electrical Code, specifically Section 210.62, addresses the requirements for receptacle outlets in show windows. This section mandates that at least one receptacle outlet must be installed directly above a show window for each 3.7 linear meters, or 12 linear feet, or major fraction thereof, of show window area measured horizontally at its maximum width. This requirement aims to provide a convenient and safe power source for lighting and other electrical equipment used to illuminate and enhance product displays in show windows. To understand and apply this code section effectively, several key aspects must be considered. Firstly, the definition of a show window is critical. A show window is typically defined as a window used or designed to be used for the display of merchandise or advertising material, whether it is fully or partially enclosed or open at the rear. This definition helps delineate the areas where the requirements of 210.62 apply. Secondly, the phrase directly above indicates that the receptacle outlet should be installed as close as practically possible to the top of the show window. This positioning ensures that the receptacle is readily accessible for power and display lighting and other equipment without the need for long or unsightly extension cords. The height at which the receptacle is installed must also comply with other applicable codes and safety standards, ensuring that it is accessible for maintenance and use while minimizing the risk of damage or accidental contact. Thirdly, the measurement of the show window area is based on its maximum horizontal width. This measurement is used to determine the number of receptacle outlets required. For example, if a show window is 15 linear feet wide, it would require 2 receptacle outlets because 15 feet exceeds the 12-foot limit for a single receptacle. Conversely, if a show window is 11 linear feet wide, it would still require 1 receptacle outlet because 11 feet is considered a major fraction of 12 feet. The term major fraction typically refers to anything greater than 1/2. In this context, anything over 6 feet for a 12-foot allowance would require the next receptacle. Fourthly, the type of receptacle outlet required is not explicitly specified in 210.62, but it must comply with other applicable sections of the National Electrical Code. Generally, a standard 15 amp or 20 amp, 125 volt receptacle outlet is suitable for most show window applications. However, depending on the specific electrical load and equipment being used, a higher rated receptacle or a specialized receptacle type may be necessary. It is also important to ensure that the receptacle outlet is properly grounded and protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, if required by local codes or if the receptacle is located in a damp or wet location. Fifthly, the location of the receptacle outlet must also comply with other relevant code requirements, such as those related to clearances and accessibility. The receptacle outlet should be installed in a location that is readily accessible for maintenance and use, and it should not be obstructed by any permanent fixtures or equipment. It is also important to ensure that the receptacle outlet is installed at a height that complies with accessibility standards such as those outlined in the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, if applicable. Sixthly, the wiring and overcurrent protection for the receptacle outlet must comply with all applicable sections of the National Electrical Code. The branch circuit supplying the receptacle outlet must be sized appropriately for the expected electrical load, and it must be protected by a circuit breaker or fuse of the correct rating. The wiring method used to connect the receptacle outlet must also comply with code requirements, ensuring that it is properly supported and protected from physical damage. In practical application, consider a retail store with 4 large show windows, each measuring 12 feet wide and 12 feet high. According to 210.62, each of these windows requires at least 1 receptacle outlet directly above it. Therefore, a total of 4 receptacle outlets would be needed for these show windows. Now consider a different scenario where a store has 2 show windows. The first window is 10 feet wide, and the second window is 14 feet wide. The 10-foot window requires 1 receptacle outlet because it is less than 12 feet. The 14-foot window requires 2 receptacle outlets because it exceeds the 12-foot limit, requiring an additional receptacle for the extra 2 feet. Therefore, in this scenario, a total of 3 receptacle outlets are needed. In summary, National Electrical Code Section 210.62 is a critical requirement for ensuring the safe and convenient use of electrical power in show windows. By understanding and applying the provisions of this section, electrical professionals can ensure that show windows are properly equipped with the necessary receptacle outlets, providing a reliable power source for lighting and other equipment used to enhance product displays. Always consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code in local amendments to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. The proper installation and maintenance of show window receptacles not only enhance the aesthetic appeal of displays but also contribute to the overall safety and functionality of the retail environment. Remember, electrical codes can vary by location. Always consult local amendments and the authority having jurisdiction, or OJ, to ensure full compliance.